waddeyo n'obubalirivu bwonna ate tudde ekintu kyonna kitange kubanga wagamba teri kyakulwanyisa kiweeseddwa ku bulamu bwaffe kijja tutuusa ku kabi konna. Kitange omulungi olunaku olwaleero tuluwonze maaso go, saba kitange omulungi otukulembere otuwe ekisa era otutambuze bulungi makubo gonna era nga tuddayo kitange ne mulaale zaffe eziddako kitange, saba kitange Katonda wange tuwongayo ennaku zonna mu maaso go kitange, tuziwonga n'omusaayi gwe kitange, otukulembere paka nga tutuuse mu nsi ensuubize. Haleluya.
Thank you so much. My name is Mukwezi Joshua Lowell, and I will be your MC today. I request each of us to take our seats, please. Okay, thank you. So I know many of you are wondering what are we doing here, given that we already launched our party manifesto. What we are going to be doing here is to unpack it for you. We have a panel of presenters that just here before you. Our manifesto, as you already know, has 11 priority areas. There are the people who are just before us. Each of them is going to stand before you and help us unpack it so that all of us can understand. And we're not just doing this because we hope to do it. We are doing it because our people, especially in the new Uganda, need to know what awaits them. But before I start inviting the people to present for us, I just wanted to say something small so that we can understand the reason why we are doing this. I think since independence, but most relevantly since 1986, since independence, but most relevantly since 1986, there or even we lack, people don't have a sense of imagination. They don't believe, they don't hope. But has been doing across the campaign trail has been asking each of us to imagine what the new Uganda would look like. A country that has talent, that is endowed with natural resources, and yet the realities of their life don't speak to that. So while you listen to the panelists here, we'll just ask you to borrow some bit of hope, to imagine this Uganda we are going to have after the next election, which indeed we are going to have. What is it? What does it look like? Unfortunately, the government we've been having has failed fundamentally. And you know that because you hear people, because our people don't believe that it's possible for a government to work with them. You hear people say, abakulembeze ne bachuka tewali kigenda chuka. No utwa kuterondizo muntu kine chikuza kuhinduka. Government tera kutere sente munshako yao. But I want you to believe that it is possible for a government to work for you and not work against you. And I would just say this just to not waste a lot of time. I think it was President Obama in 2004 who said that citizens don't expect the government to do everything for them. Our people are hardworking, they are talented, they are paying their taxes. All they need from us is a government that can just create an environment which enables them to realize their full potential, which can utilize their taxes to work for them. And so here the manifesto we're unpacking for you is not that all your problems are going to be solved per se, or that we are going to give you everything that you want. But we can at least guarantee that our government will create an enabling environment, which means that a talented young man from Kamwacha can rise to be the next icon on the African continent or in the world. Yes. That it is possible to leave your university and have a job that gives you dignity, not because it's the only thing you can settle for. So thank you so much. We ask you to please broaden and allow yourself to imagine what is going to happen after 2026. So this is how it's going to flow. Each priority area will have 5 minutes, and we encourage each of us to keep our questions. We shall ask the questions at the end of the general presentation. questions. So we will have the presentation in how they are ordered within the manifesto. What that looks like is that number one on the priority list is going to be what is presented first. So the first priority point we have in our manifesto is on freedom and constitutionalism. And it is going to be presented by our party General Secretary, Honorable Rwongwea David. Mr. General Secretary, allow me to invite you to take us through the first priority point. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, comrade leaders present today. We are here to unpack the NUP manifesto, and I'm here to talk about our manifesto priority 1, which is about restoring constitutionalism, human rights, and the rule of law. First of all, what is the problem in Uganda? The problem in Uganda today is governance. Uganda does not have any other problem except governance. All problems that we have in Uganda today can be summarized in one word: the failure of governance. Uganda ranks 126th out of 142 countries on the rule of law index. So you can imagine Uganda beats just very, very few countries in the world in terms of respect for the rule of law and human rights. That is terrible. In Uganda, media rights are not respected. Journalists and media practitioners are regularly harassed. There are enforced disappearances in Uganda. Up to now, we are looking for 18 people who were abducted by the Museveni regime in the last election. Yesterday, the president delegated me to attend a briefing ceremony for one of the children of Damulira John, who had disappeared in 2020, and up to now, he has never surfaced. And as you know, our Kenyan brothers, 2 of them were picked on the campaign trail on the 1st of October. Up to now, nobody knows where they are. Sam Mugumia, who was abducted from Barara, is still missing, and many other people. What is the other problem? Due process and legal environment. Many people can tell you in Uganda that if you're poor, you're not going to get justice in the courts of law. If you go to courts of law and you don't have money, you are sure that the person who has money is going to beat you at your case, no matter how good case you have. That is why people say, Omwavu tasinga musango. Electoral integrity. That in Uganda today, many citizens out there will tell you everywhere we go, Picha kulonda naiba namulangirira, because there is no electoral integrity. People go and vote. You saw what happened in Kayunga, where the regime just took over and declared whatever they wanted. The other problem related to governance is, of course, corruption. The breakdown of constitutional order. In the 1995 Constitution, it provides that the Constitution will be durable. Unfortunately, every time the Constitution has stood in Mr. Museveni's path, he just kicks it down the road, uses the military, usurps Parliament, bribes Parliament, and takes over the functions and amends the Constitution illegally, and the Parliament, of course, and the judiciary have been weakened very, very strongly. And there's a deliberate attack on the civil society. You all recall that a few years ago, over 5,000 NGOs which were dealing with governance issues were closed down by the Museveni regime. But now, what is NUP promising? Number one, to restore term limits in our constitution. NUP will not only restore term limits, but it will entrench them. It will be a treasonable offense platform. Number two, in accordance with the Supreme Court decision, NUP is going to remove that UPDF amendment which took civilians back to military courts. Civilians will not be tried in military courts whatsoever. Number 3, like the president said on the train, the first action he will take once elected president of Uganda is to free all political prisoners. Now, you people who are watching us are the reason why those prisoners will be in prison after the election day. Because if you vote for NUP, all political prisoners, beginning with Dr. Chiza Besigye, Machete, Eddie Mutwe, Achideo, Gaddafi, and the Karamajong, who have been taken to those prisons and are not being tried for no crime whatsoever, will be freed immediately. Meaning that a vote for NUP is a vote to free all political prisoners. The media who are here today under NUP, no security forces, no police officer will interfere with the work of journalists in the new Uganda. Journalists will be free to do their role without fearing what will happen when they go back home. Under NUP, the president will not appoint the Electoral Commission. The powers to appoint the Electoral Commission will be taken away from the president. First of all, we are going to bring about separation of powers. Parliament will be independent, the judiciary will be independent, and therefore there will be organs. There will be a committee, a separate committee dealing with this, and the final approval coming from Parliament. So, the powers to appoint the Electoral Commission, because we all know that that is one of the biggest problems we have today, where one of the candidates is the one who is appointing the Electoral Commission. That will not only go to the Electoral Commission, but also the appointment of judicial officers, including the Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice and all other judicial officers. That power will move out from the President. That power will move out from the General Court and the High Court. All of them have been appointed by one man called General Museveni. That is why many of them feel emboldened to him. That is why many of them feel indebted to him to do what is against the Constitution and what is against the judicial oath. But we believe that if the president is not the one appointing judicial officers, then judicial officers are going to do their function independently and serve the citizens of Uganda. In the new Uganda, there will be no internet shutdowns. Facebook will be restored. You will not need to be on VPN to access Facebook. UCC will no longer have powers to switch on the internet when they feel like. That one will not happen in the new Uganda. The civil society, NGOs and others will be allowed to function. We are going to have merit-based appointments. In the new Uganda, it will not depend on where you come from, what is the size of your nose, how old you are, where you come from, to get a job. In the new Uganda, you will get a job based on merit. You will get a job across the board. So that is how we plan to restore constitutionalism and the rule of law. We are going to remove all oppressive laws from the law books that we have, and very, very finally, we are going to have lifestyle audits as part of our fight against corruption. If you are serving the government, you must tell us where the money you're using is coming from, because we want to make sure that the money of the citizens is used to fight for the rights of the people and not for personal aggrandizement.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again, Mr. SG. I think that's a very clear plan about how we are going to undo the shrinking space that we enjoy as a country. I just want to let you know that it is possible to access this manifesto on the party official social media platforms, on the party website. Please look for it and be able to read some of the things that may not be captured in this short presentations. Having said that, allow me welcome the leader of opposition, our party spokesperson, to present the second priority area, which is on ending corruption and wasteful expenditure.
Thank you. This reminds me of our school debating days where you're given 5 minutes to hammer the point. I'll attempt to do that. Our manifesto priority area number 2 is ending corruption and wasteful government expenditure. One of the biggest quandaries we have in our country. Let me paint a picture for you quickly. Our national debt currently is 116 trillion shillings. That's how much you and I owe. That means every Ugandan, including the baby that was born this morning, owes 2.5 million shillings. Every single Ugandan, including those who have never seen that kind of money. That's how bad it is. Bought and disbursed loans, money that is borrowed, and it sits on accounts unutilized for a very long period, and yet we have got to pay interest on that. That has got to end. We want to plan for our country efficaciously, and it's possible for us to be able to do that. As you know, some of the borrowed money is stolen. We have a debt rollover which we accumulate annually. That's money that we borrow and we are unable to pay. Domestic arrears. There's something called domestic arrears when government, ordinary people do business with government and government doesn't pay. That figure is 14 trillion shillings. People who supply food to government, ministries, departments, and so on, who do construction work, ordinary Ugandan people, 14 trillion shillings. These people borrow money from the bank so that they can do this government job, and government doesn't pay. So businesses are crumbling, local businesses. Meanwhile, we have foreign investors who come here. They are guaranteed land, they're given free land, tax holidays, they're guaranteed money. Pineti, I don't know, whoever, Rocco was given 200 plus billion shillings. Achak Sugar Factory, 600 billion shillings. They Biopharma. These guys who promised to put together a COVID vaccine, 723 billion shillings. That nonsense is going to stop under our leadership. So that we focus on the ordinary Ugandan. There's no reason why our roads cannot be built by these young engineers who graduate. It's something that we should be able to do, but you bring foreigners here, they consume all the money, including the freebies that we give them. Look, we have got a lot of poor planning that happens, something that we want to eliminate. Every year, we have several schedules of supplementary budgets, up to about 5 trillion shillings. Now, supplementary is supposed to be a bitalazi. And so on, and then government comes to parliament and says, we didn't plan for this, let's avail money. But here is the surprising thing. State House, Office of the President, which uses, by the way, over 2 billion shillings per day, their annual budget is exhausted in the first quarter, in 3 months. That's a reality, always. In the first 3 months, their entire 12 months budget is exhausted. Then they come back to Parliament for supplementary budgets. That nonsense has got to stop, and we intend to stop it. We have extensively talked about corruption. We know that on an annual basis, we lose 10 trillion shillings per year to theft. Those are hospitals, those are schools, those are roads that are stolen on an annual basis. Our government intends to make it risky for anyone to steal taxpayers' money. I know there are people who have said, and I know folks in the Inspectorate of Government, they say our challenge is our people are not morally upright. That's why there's a lot of stealing that happens. Man is inherently evil. Look, governments elsewhere, countries elsewhere where there's not as much corruption, it's not because their people are morally upright and good. No, government has made it risky to steal. You steal taxpayers' money, we'll lock you up. So that others speak a lesson and know you cannot touch taxpayers' money. So we don't want to always talk about corruption like these folks. You will see action. Finally, we intend to eliminate taxes on essential items like menstrual products, scholastic materials, and school data bundle. We were debating this issue sometime in Parliament, and there was a young lady, I now hear she's going to run for woman MP. She's the current youth MP, Uganda. Now I hear she wants to represent the people of Luwero as woman MD. She said, no, let's not reduce taxes on Pampers, because when we reduce taxes on Pampers, we shall be promoting homosexuality. I said, did this one even go to school? How do you reason that way? Anyway, for us we want to practically do that, so that it is accessible by our ordinary people, by the poor people whom we must be able to bolster. Here is a catch. We want to introduce a pay tax threshold of 1 million shillings. That means, for those of you that are employed in the formal sector, because currently for as long as you earn anything above 249,000, you are in the tax bracket, you must pay tax. Once we are saying no, anyone who earns below 1 million shillings, we are not going to tax that money, that is your money. So the tax threshold is going to be 1 million shillings. Anything below 1 million shillings, that is your money, use it to better yourself as an individual. That works a lot better than, we have been seeing all these programs, throw money at people, PDM, Mioka, Youth Livelihood. And yes, we want to bolster our people, and you'll be seeing many of those programs where we can bolster the ordinary people as opposed to foreigners. This money we are throwing at these foreign investors, no, we want to put it in the local people's businesses. But you begin that by lessening the tax burden on our ordinary folks. That's something that we want to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our party spokesperson. Now, this country seems to have a lot of divisions. We've had governments which pity us against each other, people from regions versus the other regions. But we are one people, we are Ugandan. That's why in our third priority point, we talk about national unity. We have a deliberate plan to make sure all of us live in this country united. I will invite Mr. Jogo Fred and Mr. Coach George to talk about national unity, which is part and parcel of our party, but also part of our manifesto. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, the President and everybody gathered here today. My name is George William Okoit. I am one of those presenting priority number 3 that states that we as a country must focus on consolidating our national unity. We come from a country that has a history of war. If you're very much aware, every part of this country, including Central, had at least 1 or 3 rebel groups. While all these rebel groups existed, they did not fight an individual. They were all fighting for leadership for everybody in this country. We have consumed fabricated history and distorted lies in a way that they tell us it is NRA that brought peace to the country. It is a lie. There were more than NRA groups that were fighting for peace. They simply lied the other varying parties to come together and drop their guns, gave their leaders offices like General Ali and others. Even us in Teso, we have them. They gave them positions so that they can tell their followers to stop. After they stopped, they were never compensated, they were never empowered, they were ravished in poverty. And that was done so that they can consolidate power in one person who we all know. And they told us, they gave us peace. They simply silenced guns. Other regions, I want to give an example of Teso. Teso, with the war that we went through, we lost our backbone economy, which was the cattle economy. We expected that when a government that is concerned of its own people takes over, the first thing they were supposed to do is to make sure that we, the people of Teso, are sat down and given an opportunity to forgive one another, reflect on their future, and consult their effort in developing the area while government is supporting them. As the National Unity Platform, this is our commitment and promise. We cannot arrive at a consolidated country peacefully without truth-telling. So as a government, we commit to establish a truth, reconciliation, and a justice desk. And here we are demanding that as a country, can we come together If you know you are responsible for having committed an atrocity, come forth and tell us what happened, not the lies. Ugandans value forgiveness. Ugandans value unity. We assume that somebody cannot forgive you unless you start by telling the truth. So we are saying as a government, first and foremost, we want to put this in place so that we track all the sources and the causes of why we went into war and therefore forge a way forward. Number two, as a government, we are saying, can we put in place at least a rehabilitation program? One beginning with psychotherapy rehabilitation. Because we cannot be able to think straight when all of us are suffering from post-trauma disorder syndrome. The syndrome is caused by direct face of traumatic events like war. That is the reason as to why they will never arrest an NUP member peacefully. They want to beat them up, bring the tortured one so that you can see, so that psychologically you suffer PTDS altogether. They want to make sure, because you know, PST is transferable through your gene. For us in there, so people fear to face government because our parents transferred the gene of fear and trauma to us genetically. So we are saying as a government, we are putting in place a program to see how best we can de-escalate trauma in the mind of our people. I thank you. I give Jogo the chance.
Mr. Koit, we really come from war-torn areas because the energy you put on the mic, you just know these are people from war-torn areas. Because you've been crying for long, now you have the energy. I hope I'm not going to be also another one. Dear President and comrades present, my name is Jacob Fred, aspiring for MP for Kidum Municipality. When I was contacted to come and present on how reparations on war-torn areas can be done in the new government, I asked myself, how am I going to dress? Should I dress like a person coming from a war-ravaged area? Or should I dress like a person of a new Uganda? And I decided to dress like a person of a new Uganda. Because in the new Uganda, you don't need to look like your problem. In a new Uganda, no one should look at you and say, look at that bakoko. I learned this vocabulary because of teaching in Kampala for 6 years. Comrades, when I was coming, our bus stopped on the way and a group of people putting on round hats and holding sticks entered the bus. If you were supposed to be there and listen to the whispers of people in the bus say, they are there, they are passing. Yes, those are the Balalos who came to steal our land. Those are the ones. I looked at myself, really? In a new Uganda, we still look at somebody's dressing and we believe we can judge them because of the way we look? This is going to change in a new Uganda because of the promises that I'm going to enumerate now. 1, we are going to end sectarianism and tribalism completely in Uganda. We are going to make sure your competence, this issue of technical your primary technical know-how. We used to cram that, but these days it has changed. You need to know a certain language. No wonder a certain general called MK said he's going to teach our comrades a certain language that I don't even want to mention, because he is just weaponizing innocent people who have nothing to do with their government. That is a family rule. To conclude, I want to say we are going to have equal pay for equal work. Teachers are striking. I want to tell you, in Central here, you are lucky. From Monday to Friday, you get children still going to school. Why? Because their parents can't pay school fees. From my village, children have not seen teachers for close to 25 days now. And teachers, the leaders of these teachers are moving around saying we are talking with government. Talking with government? Up to when? Elections are coming. Why don't they use this time for election to pay them if possible? So I'm sending a one to fellow teachers in Uganda. If there has never been a time you want to vote Museveni out, this is the time, because you have not been paid. Let me talk about national unity. We are going to organize national unity festivals and social cohesion functions, where if we are going to dance at the headquarters here, we are going to see Imbalo, we are going to see La Raka Raka, we are going to see Baksimba, we are going to see Otole, we are going to see Ajosi from Teso, we are going to bring the Karamojongs to jump here, we are going to have all kinds of dance. So because it is called national unity. Thank you so much. To conclude, we are going to empower the existing cultural traditional institutions. Comrades, you realize what happened to the king of Renzururu, King Wesley Mumbere, who was punished by the government for close to 6 years. He never stepped on his soil because he was telling the truth. In the new Uganda, traditional institutions are going to have their autonomy. Traditional institutions are going to be empowered, and this will work throughout the country. They are not going to be used simply to support the government in power, but to tell the truth to power. Thank you so much, comrades. Avoid attack, Luakme Choli, Lango, Karamojong, West Nile. Machado National Unity Platform, NUP. Watika wajoni gamente manyen papati enini obenero ni apora matie Uganda makangat manyang kole kinemi umebo ka chole kinero ni chol ka Karamojong kinero ni komechol beberu pe Uganda. Igamente manyen pa National Unity Platform wabenero ni lufonye kicholo gimabe wego fonyo tino. In Uganda we say Abana Basome, right? Children are going to go to school. Thank you so much. I continue. Oh no, thank you so much. Hey, my transport has started coming to go back to Kidgum.
Thank you so much. When you go back, tell them we love them so much too. That said, before we have the next priority area discussed, our alumni from the School of Leadership are preparing a skit for us. So after the next presentation, let's prepare our minds to welcome them to present their skit. Having said that, I think the discussion around teachers not teaching and the poor quality education takes us to our next priority area, which is access to quality public services. And the emphasis there is quality. So I will welcome Dr. Judith Nalukwago and our very own Dr. Nambasa doctors to come and present on quality public services. Thank you.
People power. Our power. People power. NUP. Everywhere. And everywhere. NUP. Even here. NUP. In the new Uganda. Mr. President, the Secretary General, the Leader of Opposition, all leaders present, and the general public of Uganda, good afternoon to you all. My name is Dr. Shabim Nambasa, and I'll be presenting with Dr. Judith Nalukwago on priority number 4. And for priority number 4, we are saying that as the National Unity Platform, one of the things that we are going to put emphasis on is access to quality public services. When we talk about public services, we are talking health, we are talking education, we are talking clean water, we are talking transport, we are talking infrastructure. When we look at our health system at the moment, you'll find that out of all the districts in Uganda, about 82 districts lack a general public hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, we are saying that out of 2,100 plus sub-counties in this country, over 1,696 lack a health center for. If we have all those districts that do not have health centers, where are our people going to go when they fall sick? Recently, we saw Chris Bariomusi fall sick in his own constituency, but there wasn't a single hospital that could attend to him. He had to send for a helicopter to come and airlift him from his constituency, from the people that he represents, to be treated in a different districts where they also have their own MP. But I ask you Ugandans, how many of you have a contact that you can call for you to get a helicopter to airlift you from wherever you are? I think out of all of us here, it could only be Mr. President, but I'm not sure. I think he says he also can't get a helicopter. So how many people are dying on a daily because they don't have access to good health care? When we speak about good health care, people believe that we are only speaking because we are privileged. I speak from the profession because I am one of them. I have served in those hospitals. I have been to Chirudu Dialysis Center, but I tell you that people fight for beds for them to be able to get dialysis. But I saw a photo of a certain country where a dog was getting dialysis. Our lives less important compared to the dogs that the whites own. We have seen pictures of babies at Kawempe Regional Referral Hospitals in these plastic chairs where you're seated today. Ladies and gentlemen, we lose over 100 mothers on a daily. It's sickening that as I hold this microphone, in this very minute that I'm speaking, there is a woman out there that is bleeding to death because there is no tranexamic acid, because they couldn't get oxytocin. Sorry, I'm going very far. Let me go to education, ladies and gentlemen. You see, in Uganda, over 1 million children that enroll in primary 1. Only about 300,000 make it to primary 7. That is only about how many? 30%? Do you see what I'm saying? Where are these children going that are dropping out? Who is thinking about those very children? They are out there getting pregnant if they're ladies, or if it is a gentleman, he's now going into stealing. And these children are giving birth not to children, but to more poverty. Giving birth not to children. We find that there are districts, for example in NUP, where the gentleman with the big heart claims to get 100%, but there is no single secondary school. Are you hearing me? Am I communicating, ladies and gentlemen? As we go ahead, we find that in the education sector, a single pupil is only allocated 20,000 for school fees in an entire year, while we see the Speaker's office getting billions for donations. We see so many spending a lot of money, in different things. They're giving out, they're dashing out money, but your child is allocated only 20,000 for them to be able to study for an entire year. I don't know what for. Ladies and gentlemen, when we speak about clean water, I've been to districts where people share water sources with cows. We find that cows are even getting some clean water, but there are districts where they do not get clean water. Out of the 48 million Ugandans here, we find that about 38 million lack access to clean water and to toilets. Where are they putting their stool? Where are they defecating, ladies and gentlemen? There are those little veras that we find, Monkwere, where we pass. You find there is a heap because they don't have access to clean water, and it trickles down to the health system. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Unity Platform promises to offer access to good roads. We find that out of the 1,500 plus roads that we have, I think it's 153,000 kilometers worth of road network, only about 6,338 kilometers are paved. That is only about 3.9% of the total road network in Uganda. But even out of that 3.9%, 20% is in good conditions. We have seen the roads that you use. We did the pothole exhibition. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw that we have lakes in the middle of roads. When we speak about our railway system, we don't even have a gauged railway system. That out of the entire railway system, only about 321 kilometers are operational. And from where we saw videos of our own train moving backwards, and everyone was saying, where is it going? But we know that in developed countries, trains are the quickest and easiest means of transport that they actually use. Trains can improve our road transport. Trains can be used to carry out trade from region to region, but that is not what we see in the current Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, when we study about the history of Africa, Uganda, when we constructed Entebbe International Airport, it was the largest international airport in East Africa. And that was before Mr. Museveni took over power. He takes over power 40 years down the road, and Entebbe International Airport is the only airport that we have. Yet it was the biggest in East Africa. We now admire Kenya, we admire Tanzania, but I mean, what are they doing? I had forgotten to tell you that when Magufuli took over power, he paved over 5,000 roads in 5 years. 5,000 kilometers of roads in 5 years, and Mr. Museveni has done that in 40 years. What more evidence do you need for you to say that it is now for us to have a new and better Uganda? People power. Dr. Nalukwago Judith nzize kubabuulira mu Luganda so that bajjajja bange ab'Emasaka wa Kigulu bategeere n'ab'Emawokota ab'Emukono muliyo musibye mutanamwe mulina okutegeera. Bannange Dr. Shamima annyonnyodde Oluzungu naye katuddeko mu Luganda. Ngenda kwanguyizaako kubanga obudde butukutte. Public service mu Uganda population yaffe eri miliyoni 48. Nga tugenze maaso tuprojectinze mu mwaka 2026 population ya Uganda egenda efuuke miliyoni 16. Ne kwezo miliyoni 16 abasinga kwabo ebitundu 7 ku 10 bagenda kubeera bakozi. Kitegeeza Uganda oba government erina okwetegekera ekiseera ekyo. Bwe tukyetegekera tetugenda ku developinga. China yetegekera ekiseera ekyo, Singapore yakyetegekera, ndowooza mulaba gye bali. So nga ntandika mu public service tulinayo ebyobulamu, ebyenjigiriza, amaanyi g'amasannyalaze, amazzi amayonjo, tulinayo enguudo, tulinayo eggaali z'omukka, tulinayo ebisaawe by'ennyonyi. Tugamba tuliwa nga Uganda biseera bino. Mu Uganda tulinayo districts 82 ezitalina malwaliro, ate nga tulina ne county mu system ya health mu Uganda. Naye ebyalo oba sub-counties amagombolola 116 tegalina health center 3s. Kamba buliyo ka story twawaddeyo nga tugenda nga tuva Emityana tugenda Ekyankwanzi ku campaign trail ya president ne tusanga health center 3 nensalawo okukozesa okweyamba. Unfortunately yabadde abandoned, temuli basawo n'abalwadde bali awo tebalina abakolako. Bwe nageze mu toilet okumanya zibadde abandoned, nasanze ennyo ennumba Mr. President, ennumba nezinnuma era ennaku 3 mbadde siri campaign trail kubanga mbadde ngezaako okuwona. Naye ebyo bye twagala okukolako nti tewali health center 3 mu government ya His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ejja kubeera abandoned. Nga tugenda maaso Mwami Museveni alina emmotoka ezimutambuza 6. Si 6, si 6, wabula 6. Naye mu Uganda yonna tulina ambulances 178. Banna Uganda, lwaki gavumenti eno tesuwalako? Bino bye twagala okukyusa. Nga tugendako mu bya ejjigiriza. Ndi musanyufu nti nno nze nzaaliddwa basomesa era nasomerako mu ssomero lya UPE, so mmanyi ekiriyo, ate nga bazadde bange bakolanga lesson plans nga nange ndaba. Kirabeka kyeva bazaala omuwala omugezi. Naye tugende mu maaso. Mu byenjigiriza omwana oba buli mwana mu Uganda bamuwa $20,000 buli mwaka. $20,000 buli mwaka kisobola kukola ki bannayuganda? $20,000 tekisobola kugula na kalaamu oba kugula peeni mu mwaka oba mu ttaamu egi oyo omwana n'asobola okusoma. Mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi tugenda kwongeza funding mu UPE schools. Ekirala ekisinga obukulu, bano abaana bagenda ku ssomero bambi ne bamala essaawa 8 nga tebalina kye balidde. Tetugenda kukkiriza ebyo mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi. Mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi buli mwana ajja kufuna emiro at least emu buli lunaku basobole okonsentratinga mu kusoma kwabwe. Ekirala abasomesa beekalakaasa. Ekisooka tebamala kubanga bw'otunuulira staffing rate y'amasomero mu Uganda gali ku 34%.
n'obutamala abasomesa era nze maama wange yasomesanga mu ssomero lya gavumenti naye ng'asomesa subjects 3 lwaki omusomesa omu bamubadde ninga okusomesa subjects 3 buli subject erina okubeera n'omusomesa n'ekirala abasomesa tebabasasudde bulungi kyobola beekalakaasa mu Uganda empya tewajja kubeerawo kwekalakaasa kubanga abasomesa bajja kubeera ne ssente ezimala era tujja basasula bulungi. Bwe tugenda ku ky'amazzi baganda bange abasinga mulwala typhoid temumanyi bino ebintu gye biva kubanga bannayuganda abasinga tebalina mazzi mayonjo kyokka nga tulina agayanja ga Nalubaale tulina kyoga byonna tubirina mu Uganda naye ensinga zi Saudi Arabia ezitalina nnyanja zirina amazzi amalungi ageyagaza naye wano mu Uganda tetugayina lwaki tubeera mu gavumenti bwetyo. Ne tugenda ku amasomero ebitundu 68 ku 100 tebirina mazzi. Amalwaliro ebitundu 44 ku 100 tebirina mazzi. Lwaki eddwaliro libeerawo nga terina mazzi? Bwe tugenda ku bya enguudo Dr. Shamimba agambye nti tulina netiwaaka y'enguudo emitwalo 15 nekwajo emitwalo 15 kilometers nkakaaga zokka zenkole ate nga NRM yakakolako kilometers 14. Imagine emyaka 4 kitegeeza buli mwaka bakola kilomita 10. Incompetence of this government tetugenda jikiriza mu government empya oba mu Uganda empya. Nga tugenda mu maaso nti railway abasinga ddala bazadde baffe abasingako obukulu bazadde bamwe batambuliranga mu gaali y'omukka naye kati nze emyaka gyange okulaba ku gaali y'omukka nina genda kweru wa Uganda tekigenda kubeerawo mu gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi. Ebyo byonna tugenda bikyusa mufune gaali y'omukka ng'osobola okubeera wano e Kampala ebeerayo omupiira mu Hoima City ng'olinnya high speed training ekutwala ddakiika 3 watuuse dda walabye omupiira wakomyewo. Ye Uganda empya tetubasuubiza. Ekirala era ebidiridde okusemba amasanyalaze n'amazzi. Amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi. Uniti y'amasanyalaze ya siringi 1000. Ngenda mu saluni okunsiba enviiri okunnaaza bunaaza omuviiri omukyala wa saluni nangamba maama amasanyalaze ga bbeeyi nange nyina okujjako sente nyingi naye nga lwaki mbeera nsiba enviiri eza sente nyingi nga lwaki gavumenti ya Kyagulanyi tejja uniti y'amasanyalaze ku siringi 1000 n'ebiteeka ku siringi 5. Ekidomola ky'amazzi tugenda kukijja ku nnusu 20 tukiteeke ku nnusu 10. Bannayuganda mugenda kunyumira Uganda empya. Ate nga no connecting amazzi n'amasanyalaze bigenda kubeera byabwerere gavumenti eno egenda bikolako. Ekisinga obukulu airport. Mukimanyi loopu waffe ng'akyakulira kusase yavaayo n'abalaga nti mwezo waliyo abakyala bataasoma bye baaweeja emirimu abataasoma bonna tugenda bagobayo kale baasoma omugigi naye biri ebitabo byetwogerako bonna bataasoma tugenda bagobayo tuteekeyo abantu abasobola okumanaginga air transport yaffe so that buli region wabeereyo airport nga munnayuganda asobola okubuuka n'avaano nga bwe kiri e Kenya ababaddeko e Kenya mukimanyi abantu bavuga okuva e Mombasa ne bagenda e Nairobi ata a low cost bye betwagala mu Uganda empya. Bannayuganda nga mmaliriza mukimanyi tubyogeddeko sente za health zigenda kwongezebwa tugenda kwongeza sente funding mu government hospitals ate n'abaana baffe bajja kulyanga emmere y'obwerere buli lunaku. Neyanziza nnyo people power our power.
Thank you so much, Dr. Judy. In conclusion, here is what the new Uganda promises. With the National Unity Platform, we are saying that our health centers are going to be increased. We are going to increase funding in the healthcare system to about 25% or even more, considering what was promised in the Abuja Declaration that said if the health system must improve, at least 16% of the national budget must be dedicated to the health system. We are going to recruit doctors 16 times more than what we have at present. And we are saying that every health center 3 must have a doctor. And we are going to triple other healthcare workers in the new Uganda. In the new Uganda, the funding for the education sector is going to be increased. We are saying, why should our teachers be struggling? Yet we have a lot of money. We have over 10 trillion that is stolen to corruption every year, but our teachers do not have enough salary. We are saying that connection to the national grid for electricity is going to be free of charge. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not have to buy electricity poles anymore. You do not have to pay for the wires to have electricity in your homes. We are going to remove value-added tax on electricity bills. We are going to make sure that businesses and domestic users of electricity, where SMEs fall, do not have to pay VAT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that every village has 10 water sources, clean water sources, and all town councils and municipal councils must construct toilets that will be accessed for free, ladies and gentlemen. I feel so bad when I go to Kampala and I have to look for a toilet and I pay, yet it is even dirty, but they are going to be free of charge in the new Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a railway that connects all the 4 regions in Uganda. Why should it take you 8 hours, 12 hours to come from here to Yumbe, yet you can use a train and get there in 4 hours? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure that we have regional, international airports. These Entebbe airports that you see, we are going to put down and we lift very new, good-looking international airports. And there is no reason why you will have to come from Ntungamo to Entebbe to board a plane to Rwanda. Do you understand? That is what we are saying. We are saying that in the new Uganda, you will not have to struggle for anything. We shall make sure that whatever it is that you need as a public service is availed to you. People power. Our power. Kunga Uganda kunga. Thank you so much.
From what you've heard, do you want more of the same or you want change? You already have a clear picture of what is going to be in the new Uganda. And we are not just saying we are going to do these things, we have people who are going to do these things. I'm sure you're confident that these young ladies and doctors are capable of delivering what they have just promised. That said, before we welcome our alumni to perform the skit, we shall first have a surprise artist. Felista the superstar is going to sing, perform for us. Thank you so much. DJ.
Namuche Masaka naye ngambye so agenda nga sirabye mukulembeze wange. Naye mukulembeze wange nkwagala nnyo era nsaba luno olutabaalo luzzeemu oluwangule bulungi. Nkwagala nnyo taata, eyanziza nnyo. Badde omukulembeze yansuubiza haga. Mukirabye haga teyaŋŋamba agireese. Eyanziza nnyo Mr. President.
Webale nnyo. Uganda empeera nja kweyagala nnyo. Thank you so much for that. We are going to have one more presentation and then we'll have the skit. At this point, many of you have been asking, because in our manifesto we have told you we are going to create 10 million jobs, and many of you have been saying, how is that possible? I think most of you have gotten used to governments which don't create jobs. I'm going to welcome Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi to present on the issue of unemployment and how we are going to create jobs for you. Thank you so much.
People power, our power, NUP, President kantwalayo omukisa ogw'enjawulo okukulisaayo mu Greater Mubende ne Greater Luweero. Bane mumukuliseeyo kyabadde kyakabi yakikoze. One, let me start with a simple philosophy in managing an economy. It is akin to going to war. Because quite often, after all this struggle we are in to remove a dictator, and our president, after swearing in, he will be just occupying momentarily a certain hilltop, but it will also define how far the climb has been and how steep the next journey to end unemployment, to create a better life, to give our people better opportunities. It will just be a beginning of a major struggle. Now, like any other war, developing an economy entails taking over what we call commanding heights. Commanding heights of an economy starts with, I'll only mention two that are very relevant. A commanding height of an economy, the first one is an emergency of an enlightened elite class in a country. I'm using the word enlightened, not people who have gone to school. An enlightened elite class is aware they must live simple so that their people must simply live. They do every sacrifice. They have a command of duty, responsibility, commitment, sacrifice, patriotism, and courage to ensure they deliver a nation. The second commanding height is an emergency, a skilled, which they've talked about, of a skilled, healthy, working human resource, for which people have talked about health and education. Another commanding height is peace. When I talk about peace, I'm speaking about durable, predictable, peace that we take for granted, not an absence of war and gunshots. Once you have that peace and stability, then you have occupied another commanding height. But in the role of that peace is the role of the military, for which most militaries in Africa fail African presidents. The military complex, other than waging war, is the gatherer of strategic information and direction of a country. They have a duty to unflinchingly speak to a president, no matter how difficult, to tell the president that what you are doing is not right, change direction, take a new course because of the future of our country. Now, our military think all they do is to consolidate and the presidency. Another commanding height, of course, is finance and banking, which I'll leave. But my role was to demonstrate to you that you can create 10 million new jobs. I think that is an understatement. In Tanzania here, they have demonstrated, starting with Magufuli, that in 5 years you can transform a country. The young man, the general, in the friend of the president, who Traore, has demonstrated that in 3 years just you can transform a country. We are sure with the National Unity Platform, with the discipline of the National Unity Platform, it will take us 2 to 3 years to put Uganda right and begin a new course, not just to give you peace and stability, to give this country a heritage of an ever-improving destiny. I'm speaking about a heritage. Chabusika. Countries change forever. Good leaders don't change countries momentarily during their regime. They give them a basis of an ever better life for their citizens. And it is possible, starting with Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu and the National Unity Platform. Will it be reinventing the wheel? No. Nations start from somewhere. America was given an opportunity by one man called George Washington. So was India. China was given an opportunity by Chairman Mao and others. Singapore by Lee Kuan Yew, and so many other countries. So I have no doubt, and I've worked with our president closely, I have no doubt he will deliver Uganda to a promised land. So be out there, and all we have to do is to go out 4 months from now, 2 months, and vote. Now, this is what we are going to do to create jobs. One, we are going to leverage tourism. Tourism has the potential to create new jobs in Uganda. And let me speak about tourism. And let me speak about the lions. For you to have a tourist destination, you must improve all the things the Salims have talked about. Infrastructure, have peace, have better roads, have communication, have better hotels. Once you do that, tourists will simply come, even without branding. So you don't need to. There must be roads without tanks and tear gas. There must be respect for human rights. Every time you put Edimutwe in a basement, you are discouraging 1,000 and hundreds of thousands tourists. No one wants to come to a country where people are put in a basement. It can't. Every time you see jam on Kampala Road, you are discouraging tourists. So today people go to Dubai. Are there dinosaurs in Dubai? Are there lions in Dubai? Are there valleys in Dubai? Are there rivers in Dubai? It's because they have done a first-class infrastructure. That's what our government will do. The second thing we shall do to leverage is to create an industrial sector that can create jobs. An industrial sector that can create jobs will be the one that has a backward and forward linkage. Backward linkage is an industrial base that will be built on our comparative advantage, which is agriculture. And when you build an industry on agriculture, two, we are now getting a new comparative advantage. We are one of the richest nations in mineral potential in the world. From oil to uranium to gold to tea to everything you need in Uganda we have. How very fast shall actually the thinking in the other sector of the economy is if we had developed our industrial sector, our mineral sector faster, we would never have needed to borrow to develop the oil sector. Therefore, we are going to fast track a huge industrial complex based on our mineral resources, on our agricultural resources, on our fish industry, on
I want to put this forward. You're good. I want to put this forward. The comment section mujuddemu abantu abagamba Samantha Mulalu. Kati nze ndowooza kamba nnyonnyole story yange mulabe nti ne Samantha byayitamu tannaba.
Okay.
I was one of the most successful girls mu Kampala.
Yes.
I was dealing in hardware business. I had more than 8 hardwares. Is a man. But when things began falling apart, client yali akuwaddeko millions 10 otikka ebintu n'obikwata n'obitwala n'obitikka emmotoka kw'obitisse n'ebula completely.
Are you sure?
Noba ng'olina osasula ssente z'ebintu omusajja byakuwadde n'ebintu ebirala gy'obijje.
Ekiki?
Nobeera n'emikwano ng'olina abantu ababadde close to you naalongo. Those people you trust nti omuntu ono neekuba kumutemako omukono. Bannanga mbeererawo naalongo that very day ne bakubikkulira the other side of that person gwe badde olinamu essuubi. Nze I had to go to places nga siva mu kooti siva wa my very businesses. Naye ng'abantu ababikutuusaako be bantu b'obadde nabo n'abakozi b'obadde okozesa. Ne kidde ewaka ge maka Samantha ge gaasooka okufa. That's what happened to me. Nze nali nkozesa mwana mulenzi nga nkozesa house boy. Nze yamwanonera from Sembabule. I brought that boy nga mwana muto. Ne muteeka mu nkoko. Businesses started falling apart nze nafiirwa enkoko mu kuggalawo nga Museveni agaddewo eggwanga. Nafiirwa enkoko 768.
What?
Nayina enkoko 1,000. Zonna enkoko ne zifa omulundi ogwo. Nayina embuzi nga nina embuzi zaali 47. Ngenda okutuuka e Kasanje ng'embuzi oba laddu ye yazikuba oba kyekyazikuba nga sirina. I had a loan in Centenary Bank. Nentambula nze kennyini ne ngende mu Centenary ne mbagamba mbabuulire mbadde nsaba muyimirize looni eyo. Abasajja ne bagaana. Ne mbalagana evidences. Kino kiganye banange kino kifudde ne mbalaga buli kimu. Abasajja ne bagaana. Omusajja n'apaakinga ebintu n'atambulana. In fact yawasana ku kyalo kwennyini. Kwe yawasa. Omuwala n'amuzimbira ku kyalo kwennyini kwendi kwe yateeka amaka agange. Okitegedde? Nembeera mu nnyumba nze Naalongo omuntu yali asobola okubalansinga more than 20M olunaku. Nembeera mu nnyumba nga ndimu n'omwana wange naye ng'ekinene nnyo nsobola okulya akatungulu ak'ekikumi ennyaanya ey'ekikumi ne muwogo ow'ebibiri. Abantu b'e Nansana banjulira. Mu nnyumba eyange. Nga neggalira mu nnyumba akatungulu ka 10 ennyaanya ya 10 ne muwogo nga gwe tusulirira n'omwana wange. Naye nga Naalongo ne bw'olikwata akawumbi ka ssente n'okampa at least emmotoka ekutomera n'ekutta.
Asha weereza invite nze sikulaba yeeno wamma tugende maaso.
That happened to more than 4 people. Nemanya nti kati it began as a journey. Nemanya nti kati lwe lugendo lwenina okulwana okukola ki okwejjamu. Kati awo fa abangu ennyo abantu abapapala amangu ennyo awo oyingirira essabo wogendera mu bamaseeka wogendera mu maki mu makanisa abo nabo ne bazirya because I lost more than 4 plots of land.
Sorry.
Not until mba mu kisenge mu nnyumba nga neebase. It was like kind of a heart attack. Then it was like someone coming to me nangamba no. It's going to be a very tough Jane jogendo yitamu, but trust me, it's only you who can overcome this. Nze olugendo olwo nnyinza okugamba that I began it family yange yannona mu nnyumba eyange. That was on the 17th of November last year. Ne banzijja mu nnyumba kwa nali maze ennaku 3 nga sifuluma kuba omwana neighbor yamunzijjako n'amutwala. Nali maze ennaku 3 nga sifuluma nga ndi mu nnyumba eyange. That's when my family came and they took me. That's when I left that place. Ne banziza mu kyalo. Nenzira mu kyalo ku nnyumba y'omukyalo nze yagizimba n'ogizimba gye tuziika. Nenzira mu kyalo. Nenzira mu kulya muwogo w'omu nnimiro ne lumonde w'omu nnimiro. But trust me, guno mwaka mwezi gwa 10 I have tremendous change mu bulamu. Olugendo olwo nduyiseemu bwoku teri ankwatiddeko. Kubanga n'abandi badde bakwata ssente ozikuwanga oli bwajja physically nakukwasa ssente zifuuka ekikolimo mu ngalo zo.
Are you sure?
That is what they call the spiritual journey. Samantha si mulalu nga balowooza nti mulalu.
Nange nakibagambye.
She is not. Olwo olugendo ate teruliiko ssaawa nti agenda luvuunuka kati nti oba lwankya kuba n'enkya asobola okuluvuunuka ng'ayisa ebigezo bye, asobola okuluvuunuka omwaka ogujja ng'ayisa ebigezo bye. Essaawa za kati nsobola okutambula nga nina emitwalo 5 mu nsawo naye nga ndi mu kyalo yiri gye nzikoledde. That's where they pushed me. I can walk having $1 million in my pocket. Naye e Kampala buli kimu nakiggala nenzira mu kyalo. So whoever is saying it is Samantha mulalu mumubanje ente nze mu town tewali atamanyi because I have people who are I'm still in a deficit of 24M mu kibuga. I'm in a deficit of 24 million zensigazaayo.
Zeba kubanja.
Nze kennyini nesitula ne netwala ku CPS nempita abamanja. Nembaga manjagala endagano tugikolere wano ku police nga nze yeerese. Nga ne mu deficit ya million nga 2 nga abantu bammanja. Ne netwala ku police nga nkoyo okwekweka. Nga buli kyenkwatako kifa omuntu ne wakusemberera okuyamba buli kimu kifa. Ate sikugamba nti biwonera mu ssabo. Nze mbabuulira tebiwonera mu ssabo. Era nze abakazi b'engamba balemereddwa amaka ng'olaba buli kimu ky'okwatako kitandiikiriza manya nti kati it is a call otandise okuyitibwa. Kakkana bukkakkanya olw'esiiviirikola eyo nga tebinnaba kugaana nga ffe.
Kubonaabona bubonyi. N'ensooka olindeko.
Kakkana.
Alice wedda oli mukyala. Wedda ndi wano
mukyala bambi.
Naye ndimuwuliriza naye nga wedda ndimukwebuuza wedda na mukyala.
Eyo kolo bw'eba etuuse mbabuulira ne abadde owuwo ne bw'aba mwana wo afuuka bw'ati nadda ku bikukujju.
Bannange
afuuka
weebale nnyo omukwano weebaliyo eddala naye
tutambula mu ojjukira wenkyogedde
ono Aniston nkulabye
kijjanga blackmail nga buli omu ne mukwano gwa blackmail
Nempulyaga ninganga nkagamba ngekisokera ddala mpewedde ndabye omuntu ategeera kyempitamu nti kintu kiba wagguluko okusinga abantu we bakitegeera. Bantu omuntu ajja n'agamba gundi waliwo abantu abasinga abakuloga lubala akuluma kino bamaada sibalimba ebyo byonna nabiyitamu. Mu 2023 nawulirizanga buli gezi lyonna erimpeebwa. Nze sina kyessaagenda naddala ku omwana bane sina kyessaatambula.
Kati nze mundeke mbabuuli.
Ne batuuka ne baŋŋamba omanyi okugenda ewantu nga bujja otuuka nga bagamba nti gwe kati gwe tefe tusobola kukukolako gw'oli obeera nga ogamba mbu gw'oli nga ogamba mbu mwe tubasamira busamizi.
Samantha nze muntu eyasooka okuyingira ekkanisa ya Kakande. Nga ngenza okunsabira Kakande n'aŋŋamba siddamu okulaba ewange you are not meant to be here.
Thank you. And I thought I was the only person who was
the only person. Nengende wa brother Ronnie. I still have even the videos myself. Brother Ronnie n'aŋŋamba your only call is to go back to your home. I don't need you here. Nengende wa Seeka omusajja oyo ali Matugga. Very strong Seeka ali Matuggaawo. That man told me your names are embroidered into spiritual beings. You are not meant to be anywhere.
I was not alone at that time.
But do you know that, Janet? Do you know how painful it is? Onayimiridde ali wano agamba obulimba obuli wano because
ogerako omuntu nga tekumutuukangako kituufu nange wakakande baŋŋamba nagenda kukusawo omuganda gwe mumanyi asinga mu Uganda wano nga sente nkyazirina neŋŋendayo yaŋŋamba bugambi mukwano gwange yantwalayo ne tutuuka munda taggalawo ne tutuuka munda n'amunnyonnyola nti ndeese ono omukyala mukwano gwange n'abimuyitiramu yayita lubaale n'agaana okujja yayita buli kimu yakola buli kimu nateekawo sente ezeetaagisa buli ze baali n'agaana n'agamba maama situkokuleko wabweru kabalaga bwe nafuluma wabweru lubaale n'agamba oyo tadda
kati nze leka mpawadde nze ebintu byenzikiriza
naye namaliriza ndi eno ku bwakadaama ndi mu kubona ngonabonyigonyi
nze emikwano gyonna gye nali nnina gyonna gyagenda
emikwano gyagenda eŋŋanda zagenda nasigaza abaana bange ye famire yange gye mikwano gyange bokka
nze I've met people bensiŋŋaanye kuno kati ono aŋŋamba mutundwe kati gwe
mutundwe zeno gye nakulira ffe maama musumba gye twakulira tusabira mukwano ate kati
ntandike kunnyonnyola musumba wamwe we mutundwe ntandike gwe nkugamba gwe Her Majesty gwe obuzibu bwe bwali butono nnyo otuwoza mutundwe hereputi obuzibu bwe bwali bw'abaana bato amwe pasoni eyali atambuddeko n'engwa kabenje alongside awo sima bagiyita Jalia City naye nga alito galo ow'emyaka 7 yamponinga ndi mu Lubigi naŋŋamba ezo emmotoka tozirinnya ogenda kufuna obuzibu and people died abantu ne bafa oli najja n'akugamba we told you don't body this kato akugamba togirinnya kati gwe byolimu oli mu by'abaana bato
nange kitambwe
we've seen things otunyumiza mutu
bana nze seguya naye for the first time kulira neguyizaako omuntu
ogenda kuweweera leero ojja kuwulira wali abantu
bw'omanyi bizinesi ze tukoze ne zigaana
kwano ogamba oti
Nalongo ogamba otya mukwano
biringa
Nalongo okukula musako nalongo bali nnyo kuyimirawo wakati w'abakyala n'ogamba ensi yonna ng'egaanye ensi yonna ng'ebavuddemu ate sinze nga Nalongo kaneesitulekozi nijjukira wagamba n'ogamba babuulire nze ngenda gendayo ndabe ki ekikola kigenda obeerayo naye nga mukwano nsooka okwebaza okugamba nti bwemanyize amazima kuba ffe eno tumanyi birala kubanga tumanya bya midiya okitegeera era nze njukira nnyo abememba nga gwa avayo gamba that arrogance biki kuba nze nvuye mu butambi okitegeera olinanga ogamba gwe samanseyo arrogance biki naye n'otuuka n'ogamba why lwaki seetuukirayo nenkola ki nemmanyi amazima asookaokubaza okwetuukirayo kati gwe kinyusi kyaffe gwe gwotwasigaliza okuga munnange Nalongo gwe watuuseeyo investigation ensi gakoze ki ze wakoze thank you so much kubanga munnaye abantu tebalina budde n'ogamba kaneefiiza akadde kange neetuukireyo koza abantu bangi balina ebyokunyumya bannange by the way abantu bangi balina sitoli zaabwe kati ddukira olese Samantha naye bameka abali wano abatuuka abalinya waggulu okubuulira ebintu Samantha kwaswala okugumira n'agamba nze noofaanya ku bino lwonna nkaba kinaateebaka naye nga mukwano
nze n'okuwulira obuwulizi amanyi kyempitamu nti no kyendi mu kuyitamu ali kinyumya buli kigambo kyenjogera olulimi olwange lwekozesa alutegeera. That alone is healing. That alone has that alone I'm calm.
Thank you so much. Oli ku For You page otambula butambuza oti Nalongo Jju kugambye ku For You page kati gwaliko kati gwe wa
Nalongo Jju.
Omwana oyo yankwasiza nnyo nakuberedde ne weebale nnyo kikwano weebalire ddala oyo omwana beredde no yasinga namugamba beredde no olina okunyambako bwe nfuna Samantha bambi otambuze vidiyo ze olaga abantu omwana ono alina kyayitamu abakitegera kati ate Aniston omwana omusizaamu nnyo amaanyi
nagasituka nabwakaka era ate sinabambuliri nsituse
abantu bannange buli omu yeetaaga
ekibegaaga miliyoni ya dola kino kyokka mitima kyokoze Aniston kyokka kyempulira nti olulimi olwange lwenkozesa alutegeera nti kyenjogera akitegeera kubanga bino biringa ng'ogamba nti no wekikunyonyola kibanga firimu omuntu atakimanyi abanga awulira firimu kino kyokka mpulira emirembe ku mutima mpulira nga I am healing. I feel good. I feel I'm not alone. Gomanyi nti natuka n'okulowooza nti ningange yakolebwako laboratory experiment. As if I'm not normal, I'm not from this world. Many bintu bingi nnyo that goes on. But trust me, this is the best life ever. This is the best live stream ever. Just to find someone who knows what I'm going through is indeed healing. Bambi, thank you,
and me what I'm requesting you, Samantha, but you kisoboka mwandie followings and Aniston.
Mama, anyumisa bwako. Aniston, kwina bingi ebyokwogera because katono Aniston. That means that nebintu byembadde baga nti byenjogera mbinako evidence. So evidence evidence omu gwe muwa kati ng'abantu abantu bajja mutegeera. But if Aniston sees what I give her, she will understand it.
Yeah.
So that means I'll find my soul
how
family.
Did you overcome it?
Nalongo, I'm still a work in progress.
Okay.
I'm still a work in progress. I just, first of all, mpose Samantha Chenyenzo Mugamba, one of the tricks I got. She has told me Samantha oli mu meditation. Ongambi okola meditation.
Aniston, ize kyenjagala obuuza ekikulu nga tonagenda wala mu meditation. Kubanga kati awonawo walala. But kyembadde njagala okugamba. Like how did you overcome the fact that obakale, you know, these spiritual journeys are different, but the fact that for me I'm being surveillanced because now that one means they control even how they control me from getting money because that is the issue here. Kati ekizibu is getting money. Kati Aniston right now kati bane ebitima so kondeke ne yagalo no kati onogezi nyola ampuli ate
njagala mwera njagala
mwete babire kamunyonyole musibo kati Aniston so kat I went deeper and deeper and deeper and yes I found myself and yes you can call me the all-seeing eye and I have evidence of everything I'm speaking about.
Yes.
And I bring them down. Remember, but I raise the consciousness because consciousness, I mirror the whole universe. That's like
yes.
I know that the spiritual people who are spiritual now understand that they've been waiting for that one person called the goddess or that one goddess who carries light codes, who raises vibration. Everything I'm talking about, I can show it to you in pictures. Everything.
You don't have to prove.
Yeah, everything. So I am that child, that very one. I use all the abilities that are spiritual. I have all of them. And I do use all of them. All planets run as I move them because I do have all of them. Yes. Now the issue is I am being dangerous not only to the society according to them because I have no issue. I'm here doing my job as a light worker and actually receiving light codes and bringing them down where they're supposed to be. Yes. So the issue is what I'm suffering from is they are they're studying me, yes, but they are controlling money and I cannot create when I am, when I'm not stable, when I'm not stabilized. this.
When you're not financially stable.
When I'm not financially stable, because anything that puts me out of alignment, it misaligns the universe, because I am busy creating.
Definitely.
And as I'm creating, now I don't need like anything like disturbance. Okay, the higher people or the highest person who should be responsible for me, so my family is getting money from the high up, and then they force me to create, because the other higher ups, they know that I am getting the money gets to me.
Yes.
So the family eats the money as they force me to create. And yes, I do create, even painfully. But then the problem is when I get to, like, now I need milk, because I drink milk alone, I don't eat food for a long time. That is how I'm supposed to be. And because I don't eat food, sometimes I do want to eat food, especially there are times when I'm not supposed to be working, when I'm supposed to be out doing other things, because when you go out again, so that you can help you in whatever you're doing.
Definitely.
Now the issue is the money is released from high. The emperor releases the money, and my family gets the money. They eat it, and then they torture me into doing the work by force.
Okay, so what I think,
and trust me, Bambi, I know that you understand everything I'm saying, and I also have proof to show you everything I'm talking about, and you will understand it, because
I understand
you've been on this journey, then you've been waiting for me.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful to see you, because now me personally, I think I have seen help.
Yes.
Even if I know that just no one go meditating and you just send me energy, a little energy, I know that I will be out of this.
Definitely.
That alone can help me.
Definitely.
And I believe you when you say that you will protect my son. But remember, he's the one who brings the planet stones. So you can't take him. That's why he cannot be taken. Because he's the son in the coat of arms. I'm only the mwana wengoma. But he's the son in the coat of arms. So he brings those planet crystals. So like right now, let's say today, they say, if you can check your Google. Yesterday I inserted Pluto where it's supposed to be, and if you check your Google, it has gone degrees straight in Aquarius, and I can show it to you here. I did it.
Okay, so
I did
Samantha,
it. So I'm following everything the way it is supposed to be, and I was born to do this. But the issue is still stabilized. I need a place to stay, and these people who are studying me, they don't know I'm doing what I'm doing. For them, they think I'm here to harm.
It's like this, Samantha. I don't know whether are you ready? Have you ever done palm reading?
I know. That is small. When you come in box, WhatsApp.
You did it.
The WhatsApp nkulage byonna byenkugamba. Byonna byenkugamba. Some reading is low. Those are things.
No. I would like to know. I would like to know some alignment with what you've told me.
I know you want to know if I am actually the creator, because actually, not exactly that. But I would like to know in matters concerning. I would like to know in matters concerning what you're supposed to do. You get it? It actually Siri West Aniston. Ayo Jolie, kati Jolie obero oli wansi.
Anti Samantha tetugenda. Samantha labayo. Soko mpulirizeeko. Samantha mpulirizaako. Soko mpulirizeeko.
Yes.
When you leave a questionnaire down, mu lugendo luno ng'oyambuka. Okitegedde? Bw'ona oleka ekibuuzo ekiri unanswered wansi, ogenda
nakimala. Ekintu kuga kiri down ng'omanya kyo nakiyitamu dda nakimala.
Olaba this alignment. Olaba en alignment kitegeeza abadde alina okubaawo.
An alignment Joliko. What I'm telling you, the alignment, I am running the entire alignment. I just want someone who will understand me.
Which is okay, but again, nze Samantha gundi za mwezi baddeko.
Nabiyitamu ebyo nabimaliriza. Katika ugamba that.
Kyengezako kugamba kye kino Samantha nti mu lugendo luno ng'era bw'ozza olutambula. Nga bwe tuva ku eya guided. Okitegedde? Ne tujja netu openinga chakras zaffe mpaka gye zikoma. Okitegedde? Singa obaako kyoleka wansi olina okudda n'okikima like it all night oba olina okkisasulira gy'oba oli.
Kiri bwe kiti Aniston essaawa zino kyova olaba naggambye nti nno if you can come on WhatsApp ogenda kutegera everything baku comment section na biki ogenda tegera everything properly. Sina kyendese wansi n'eki because this here what I'm doing, me I come from that bloodline that I am that person who is supposed to do what I am doing, but I am being fought by people who don't understand what is going on.
Samantha, kati
kiriwe kiti Aniston kale kati kankunyonyole bwe bati sirina mpaka but bwe nkusanze nange nensanga omuntu owange kati kiba kale ku bantu abalala bajja kiwulyanga nze ayina empaka kati n'omuntu owange gwensanze kati ne tubanga we have something I don't like to call it levels or classes, but it's like the most things byoli mu kuyisa kati for example let me talk about chakras. There are 7 according to the normal ones. But me I align 16 up 16 down. Now that's what I'm trying to mean, that I have exceeded shamanism. I am in my north node, yes. But just because you're in your north node does not mean there is nothing that will try to pull you down. That is where other soul family people come in to help. As you create going up, there is also other things that will want to pull you down. But what we call a soul family is to help you to and trust me, I have tried. What
if we do this? What if we do this, Samantha? What if first of all we first change? What if we first change the surroundings?
No, nature. Actually, nature nayo yenyini. Like for example, waliwo ebintu byenkolera mu nature, yes. Waliwo ebitakolerwa mu nature. Did you know?
Bwekiri.
Kati ebitakolerwa mu nature, tebikolerwa mu nature. Creation is done at night, and it is done in strictly very high value. It's done in a full sophageo. You know, it's full heat sophageo yonna. Not just one frequency, but full sophageo yonna because I'm creating. Another thing is in nature is you go to get guidance from what you call spiritual guides, and they speak, and that's where I get all the information I need, all the materials I need. That is where I get that from. Kati, now from nature, Kati Aniston, I believe I don't know, spirituality has to say some people also take a pause and also do other things, but me, I have never taken a pause because according to myself and my bloodline and what we are here to do, me, I can't pause, and I am doing exactly what I am supposed to do. Kati what I am doing right now, when I find a person like, actually you are very, very aligned to even understand what I'm talking about, because walwa bana ba spiritual journey ngasawe nina nekino kyenjoga tebakitegeera. So you're very, very aligned and you're very high spiritually. Kati when gwe solo kugamba ebintu kale newankubadde tetulinga nti sibu engalo zino tezenkanankana kyena nze gwazi olina okuba omugagga nze nazaalibwa kubeera bwe bati. So bibiri byanjawulo kati bino byendi birina ate byetagako support z'abano kyova nti soul family banene ti buli muntu alina omulimu gwakola mu kintu ekyo. Kati by the time I came out, it's not because some people said now she has powers, why can't she do this? Why can't there is no breaking rules?
Definitely.
there is rules you cannot break, whereby you could have used the softer way.
And we don't break rules in that, Jan, we don't.
Thank you. But because I cannot break rules, that's the reason why I'm trending on the media, because it's not even supposed to trend. If you check my page, my latest video, that was just naiva cover, but if you look at the video properly,
our daily mirror,
daily mirror, Kati, go and look at that video properly and look at it properly, and you see it. Look at the light codes. You'll get the proof of what I'm talking about, because creation is happening here in the PAL.
I don't know what is your element.
I'm a water element, Cancer.
You are a water element.
7th of the 7th. And obviously I'm the creator because I'm the Aquarius moon.
So if you are water element, tugenda kubako byetukola ebimu. So I think those are scenes that biko nyonyola wane ebisinga. So
okay,
right
like
now,
rituals,
now we need not kind of rituals. Right now what we need, we need another one. We need financial stardom. Got it?
Right now we need actually that is what we need, because I need to get a home. The rest I can.
You need to get a home first of all. Nze chanyamba nti already nali netekera. I don't know how I did it. Naye nali nateeka jennino kuyigira.
Abasinga abali safe ngambye nze ninga ali for example. Ninga akozesebwa nga for example mu bulumi buno.
Bwe kiri. Kati kyengezako kugamba kiri bwe kiti. Nti if you are water element, in fact muli mu season yammwe obudde bwe mulimu budde
Libra.
So kati tuli mu Libra naye ate when you command bo commanding esawa za kakati you osingako kuwa Aries.
Because Sowers no cardinal, as in cardinal Sowers no ndi mu Jupiter season yange kubanga Libra yange tudde mu Jupiter.
Kyembadde ndowooza kyembadde ntukozesa akadde kano
Aliston ngasanyisa okuwuliza
nange okusanga
timu kavuyo Samantha mbadde ngamba Aliston omwana oyo yali agadde ebimu n'otobimwogeza wano waliwo wabasinge ne mukwatagana waliwo ze bayita secrets.
I use brain, see secrets. Bino byetukola see secrets. Actually it's not a minute.
Samansa kati nze gwogamba manyi.
No, it's like obagamba tewali wo secret moyo because it's needed.
No, Samansa nze gwogamba nze element yange fire.
Ati kyo lwakingambye
so kati nkugambye
you are Aries
oyo mwana akisanga tanabako yabadde ze sina bingi byengenda kwogera wano, but I'm happy. That's why when you are
mugambye Samantha akabya
kajanja
tanaba
bwe kuba kutambula na kulika empisa na kabitamu
lwakuba ekizibu kyalina nti Samantha yali mu limelight yensonga lwaki bwe kimu kimukuba left right and center.
Anti kyenkugambye Aliston kyenkunyonyodde gwe kyokugamba nti nze tocha gye mpitamu si ya ddogo
ate kambagambe tewali muloga asobola kulogoya omwana era talina yo talina ddogo kati kambagambe ani pasabala byekubo
kati use brain lwaki mazino ddala nkolako effujjo.
Let me ask you, ani pasabala byekubo
waliwo wanaagambye nti alina bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder kinyonyole mu Luganda nsooke nkunnyonnyole.
Bipolar ye muntu nga avaako waya
oyo muleke muveeko. Aliston abantu bino ebintu ebyogerewo wano namba esinga tebitegeera kati babuze dda bali wala olwekyo mubaleke fe babitegeera
24/7 bawoza mental illness muloza tulitegeera
gwerinda ebanatuma Alzheimer's Aliston yo tebagituumako Alzheimer's
kwako eddalu ne bantwala ku gundi wano kodi Kampala
nja kujja mu kabokisi kange nkuweereza ebintu ebimu muve ku nsi naye ffe nze ndi happy
naye use brain jangu mu inbox nawe kyonkola kefujjo kiki
Alison nze bampita kamulali nkombaako nkubalagale ondeke
wa Sagittarius nkuwulira
mweraba that's why nagambye
Samantha kyoba olina okumanya kiri kimu
nenga byonna byemukola Aniston
bagamba yakonziza wansi just oyo mwana tanabakooyo abadde abamugamba
ekikulumya kiri kimu
okubuulira nze ndeka
Samantha ekikulumya kiri kimu nti obadde mu limelight ekikulumya kiri kimu nti obadde mu limelight nga buli omwaka otuwuliza kamera ffe Samantha tuyise mbeera
Alison ajja kujja mu kabox kange wamma kati
wanji Aniston wamma
Alison
Ufe tuyise mu mbeera n'osigala ginyenyezanga mutwe
ati mitima Alison sikambagambe wali obadde kaawo n'okeera ku makyanga oyina ennyumba y'enkoko ezaaleeya nga mulimu enkoko 13 nga zakabiikira emyezi 4 n'osanga nga zonna zisirise temuli wadde eyimiridde
kati gwenze tonyumiza nze losezi zenkoze mu bulamu
kati mwe musirike
singa munakereta nekifaananyi kyange nekikwata nekiteekayo ensajja kukkiriza kiki nayitamu
tulina amanya gaffe buli wotuuka nogamba buuza omuntu gwe ne bagamba oyo tumumanyi nogenda wano watwataddeyo amanya gaffe agali ebyamazima nogalagayo ojja kubaga nti oyo tumumanyi
kati waliwo wano embaata eri mu kugamba mbu we overwatch Chinese movies. Me, I hate people who are stupid and mentally stupid.
They are stupid.
In life, I hate people who are mentally stupid.
Oyo queen mumuveeko oyo ne munne
Aniston oyo queen alina link naawe bano oyo skulire wenjogerera kati andaba bo balina link mu
kisenge. I hate people who are mentally stupid. Mulowooza abantu mumanyi butya bwe tuvudde mu mbeera gye tuvuddemu.
Kati njogera andaba.
Ojja kujja mu boxi leka abasigadde basigale abategedde
mumanyi ekitegeeza omuntu okuba ne ssente ng'olina ssente n'otuuka ekiseera ng'osuliriramu wa nusu 2 muli awo mwasama
ate olaba Alison wali nga tonaba kukatuuka kukalozaako obuja obuyita amata n'olwekyo
baffe
nze kati siina tabu munnange mundeke neyagale
wamma Samantha n'ekirala ekizibu ky'olina kyenkulabyeko oli wamputu tokkiriza tonnakkiriza nnyabo sooka okkirize
muleke ajja
tubadde njankyado okyanyonyonyola use brain
sibadde mugamba bugambye
nze ngenda kujja nkuwe remedy ki kye nakozesa okulaba because sometimes you have to cheat sometimes you have to cheat
as long as it's not breaking the rules
kubanga bw'onaagamba nti togenda cheating eyo process osobola ogimalamu emyaka 2 kuno kuliko omusawo omuganda bamuyita mulangira kuno ku TikTok but he one day made a video n'agamba nti ye Lubaale yamukuba okumala emyaka 24 but don't you think there are people who work mu myaka 12 n'abanga amaliriza
but in that in months I am where I am tubaga ejangola bewentuuse ojja kusiima Samantha aisali
wali olinyeeko ennyonyi
sometimes you have to
gyogenzemu banogenda wantu n'otwale bagamba nti
I know how to cheat but I just don't want like n'ogamba
n'olinyate n'okomawo
okusobya saawa zino
kati Samantha kiri bwe kiti let me give you one technique I used I personally
use brain bwe cheatinga saawa zino omanyi okubanga obadde ovudde ku level 1 mpaka eno gyendi mba ngenda
kati Samantha bwe kyoyina oli mutabayita illusion Samantha kankubulire kino
oba ojja
kankubulire kino Samantha let me tell you this nze mu lugendo lw'ebyenfuna singa ne kakati nkyali mwavu singa nasalaho kulinda bye nnina kukola singa ne kakati nkyali mwavu
nze for now
okitegedde
nze gambye kyonna ky'obala ekintu kyenyirayo ekirirako essaawa zino ye Jupiter kati eri active
anti kati which is okay sikuganye kati ky'olina okukola
kiri sirina cheat code ndala wonna wempita kubanga wonna wengezaako yita mwe musobola
anti ongambye you are a fire element you have to do things physical you are water element rather ongambye you are a water element
exactly
why don't you do things physical
mukwano nkola physical atolo
Samantha kiki kikwetaagisa okutambula okufuna 13 ogende ku lyato olinnye ennyanja ogidde makkati. What does it mean?
Aniston nkugambye sina kye sirinya kwati gwe Aniston
we bandi wano fine naye gw'okyogamba bw'agenda n'oclaiminga powers ezeegundi ezo kyogamba wavaawo ng'era embeera mbi.
Embeera teyali mbi nkugambye tebeerangako mbi okujjako kyengezako okugamba Aniston nti kiriwe let us first understand this. Golowooza abantu bonna abankubyeko stories ku media kuno eno bamekanga nsobola otuula bwe wansanze ne ntuula ku live n'embeera stabilized bwe nti ne njogera n'omuntu